stop it and start again.
No, I'm not going to stop it and start it again. We're just going to roll with it.
Why can't you start it?
Fine, I start over.
Fighting fair. That's this week's topic.
That was the whole purpose, so we're going to roll with it now. I'm not going to turn it off. We're going to roll with it.
We're fighting, and we're talking about fighting fair.
It's relevant. I mean, well, it's always relevant.
Anyway, hi, my name is Lauren, if you don't know, and this is my husband, Steven. I thought you were going to introduce yourself.
You said you wanted to introduce us both, so I was going to let you.
I thought you were going to... Okay, anyways. Last week we got some feedback and some questions, so we thought maybe we do this again, and we decided on the topic fighting fair. And I feel like we've been doing a lot of arguing this week, actually, so it's kind of ironic. We're not perfect. That's why I like that we're doing this, because it's just real stuff. Okay, you start talking now, because I'm talking too much.
There's nothing wrong with the introduction, right? Everybody will agree. There's nothing wrong with the introduction. That was great. That was it. That was great. There's nothing wrong with it.
We're going to edit this part out.
So let's jump right into the topic. We're talking about fighting fair. So from what we've learned, we've been married 11 years. I don't remember if we mentioned that last video. But we've been married 11 years, been together for 13. And from what we've learned over our years of marriage, working as chaplain assistants, my wife's got psychology background, like I mentioned last time. We've learned some things that kind of helped us to work through some of the fighting. So it's not that you're going to have a fight-free marriage or a conflict-free marriage, but it's learning how to engage in that conflict without overstepping certain bounds. I
guess we should clarify the fighting we're talking about is arguing.
Oh, good point. Yes, we're talking about verbal arguments.
Arguing.
Yes, we're not talking about duking it out.
No.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's not healthy.
We don't do that.
Because it's not safe, and you might be watching this from prison right now if you've been doing some of that. I'm just saying, that's might be what's happening. I mean, we don't know our audience. We only know some of the folks.
Prison audience.
It might be a prison audience. Hey, the idea is somebody learn something, right?
So, I was just going to say, give a little background, I guess, about... We argued all the time when we were dating. When we were friends, first when we were dating, did we argue a lot as friends, or just when we were dating?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we argued quite a bit. It wasn't so much that we were arguing because we're friends. The conflicts really were related to work. So
because we worked together.
Yeah, and so the conflicts were usually stemmed around work. And when
we were always together.
Yes.
And I just remember the one story when my sister came to visit us in Alaska.
Yeah.
And we took a road trip to Anchorage, which is it
was about an 8-hour drive.
Probably in 7. I don't think it's
flying. People are watching this, and I don't want to get a ticket from 11 years ago. Okay, so saying.
Anyway, we drove down to Anchorage.
You might have made it in 7. That's a hypothetical.
I don't.
We can neither confirm nor deny that information 11 years later.
We argued the whole way in the car. Yes. On the way down to Anchorage.
Yep.
My poor sister was enduring it.
Embarrassing.
And she kept trying to interject and just be like, so look at those birds, look at those mountains.
Yeah, so which mountain is that? And then we argue over which mountain. Oh yeah, that's Mount McKinley. No, that's Denali Mountain. What do you mean? How are you going to tell me? I was here before you were in Alaska.
Oh, I didn't say that. But
no, you didn't.
Anyway, we argued all the way, and then we wound up seeing a movie when we got there. And so we were sitting there in the movie theaters, and, we were next to each other, and I went to armrest, and he went to armrest. We were fighting with armrests.
This is
We're
fun.
fighting on the armrest.
Okay, it wasn't fun then, but
And I was like, no, it's fine. He's like, you can cheer. I was like, no.
wow,
We were
this
like
is a full-on
fighting.
reenactment.
And then my sister said, you guys. And she sat in the middle. My sister is all 15
Yeah.
years old. And she's breaking up.
Yeah, we were adults, young adults, but adults at the time.
But
and
anyways.
her 15-year-old sister had to separate
I
us
think
like children and then sit in between us so we would stop arguing over
Terrible.
the armrest.
we still argue some, but I think we do it a bit better now. But I think, you know, it from your background, you just learn either you learn how to fight or how not to fight from watching it from others. I know, like, my parents didn't really argue too much in front of us because they didn't want us to see that. So I for a long time, like before Steven in previous relationships, I wouldn't speak up too much. So with Steven, he just got everything because I said I'm not going to do that anymore. So I had to learn how to dial it back a bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know
And,
from like for me growing up, my mother was married to my stepfather. What I can remember seeing was like they would just yell at each other. You know, if there was a disagreement, it may have started as an argument or a discussion, and if things got escalated, then there was arguing. They were yelling at each other and things like that. And so I learned to kind of engage conflict because just kind of trying to brush it under the carpet. It doesn't go away. It just gets really filthy under the carpet. So you can't just brush all the dirt under the carpet. You got to actually, deal with it.
yeah. And so I think early on in our marriage, I remember like our first year of marriage,
We argued a lot.
we argued.
We argued a lot.
When we
really
dated,
did.
we argued. We married, we argued.
At one point, when we were engaged, we were worried that we might not even get married because
Yeah.
we were arguing. It seems like we argued more the closer our wedding date became.
I think that's normal though. It gets really stressful.
Yeah, for those of you that are watching this that aren't married, I would definitely say to those people, just to encourage you, one, be praying about the person that you're planning on marrying, or if you don't have a prospective person yet, a fiance, then praying about the person that you hope to marry one day. That's one thing I would say. But then I would also say that, having been through it, don't be discouraged if you're not getting along. It is exciting, but it is also a stressful process. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
The getting married part. We're doing all this wedding
Yeah.
planning. We're planning from Alaska for a wedding in New York.
Yeah.
And it was really stressful. There's a lot of moving pieces. We're trying to figure everything out.
I do.
And the stress, I think, it got to us. Plus, work didn't ease up.
Yeah.
So we still had a heavy workload.
I think that the thing is with, like, when you're dating or engaged or married to someone, like, and you see, like, in the movies or something, it's like, they get along great. They don't really, like, fight. That's just not real. And especially, unless you're going to be just not, I don't know, stepped on, what's the word? Is that the right word?
Yeah, you want somebody walking all over you.
Yeah.
So
You're there's gonna be a point in time we're gonna, like, at least have a disagreement about something, but so earlier in our marriage, like, he would try to engage me in our argument and I would run and I would hide, like, in the bathroom.
Oh, this isn't figurative. This is an illustration. We would get into an argument.
I didn't know how to take it.
And she started to raise her voice. I started to raise my voice. Sometimes that's just how it happens. You feed off of each other. And when I raised my voice, you said you got scared, right? I want to make sure I don't put words in your mouth.
I would get scared because I didn't know what to do. Because I guess before I never really engaged in the conflict, like, with previous relationships, so I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh no, and I would just run, and I would close the door, go and close the door, and he'd be like, no, we still have to talk, and I'm like, I'm not talking, no.
This is no joke, people. Like, we're not making this stuff up. She literally ran into the bathroom of our house and closed the door and locked it. And I had to engage. Like, that's at the time, that's how I thought.
But now
I didn't think about how she might be feeling and how to take that into account. I went back to what I knew.
Yeah.
Engage. I need to engage. We need to solve this conflict. We need to do it now. I don't want to wait. And so I tried to engage her, and it just was not good timing.
Yeah.
It didn't really go over well because she's in the bathroom crying and she's upset. And I'm outside the bathroom door, like, yelling, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom, open it up. No, I'm outside the bathroom yelling, hey, well, we need to talk this out. We need to talk this out. Come out. And it didn't really work. So.
And usually he's the calm one, though, in arguments and stuff. But I was just going to say, fast forward, and now it's a lot different.
She doesn't run in the bathroom anymore.
I think that I learned, not that I always remember, we're not perfect, like I said, but is to say, you know what, I'm getting too angry, or this is getting too we're yelling too much. Nothing's happening right now. Let's come back to this. Like, let's talk about, give me like 20 minutes so that I can calm down. I can know what I'm going to say. Because when I'm upset, I can't think off the top of my head and stuff. And I don't want to say something that I'm going to regret, something mean, or, because words, not like that thing, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words don't hurt me. Words do hurt, especially, when someone you love is saying them. So I think I learned how to do that, and I think you learned to let me have some space sometimes. A little bit of space as long as we come back.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, based on what you said, so, and in that's kind of some of the rules that we came up with. So talking about fighting fair, one of the rules that we came up with was taking the time out, an adult time out. If we're really that heated, we're really that angry, and we realize it, we're not always able to come to a resolution in that heated moment. And so sometimes we need a break just to calm down. Or maybe one of us is feeling overwhelmed and needs time to think or whatever it is. So taking that time out, verbalizing, hey, I need a time out. And then not just that, but actually stating that, a time frame, so that way it's not just left in the air as to when this conflict is going to be resolved, and it just keeps going on and on. Like she said, hey, let's take, I need like 20 minutes just to calm down. And then 20 minutes, after that, we try to come back together and see if we can try and talk through whatever the conflict was or whatever the issue was.
Yeah. And sometimes, another point is sometimes, even at the end, sometimes we can come to like an agreement. Sometimes we don't agree. Like, I'm trying to think of an example.
Well, at the time, earlier in our marriage, it was like how to raise children. We were having our hypotheticals, and
I think sometimes we just like agree to disagree about things, but sometimes we have to make decisions and then compromise sometimes.
Yes.
Compromise.
I think that would be the word. that would definitely be the word for.
So everyone's a little bit unhappy and happy.
Yes, you might both be unhappy in the decision, or have some unhappiness in the decision. Yeah. But if it's something that's going to work, like, okay, so for example, like for the children, for our kids, we have 4 kids, big family, family of 6. But sometimes when working through something for one of the kids, we're not always both on the coming to the same agreement on exactly what we want to see done. So like you said, we'll compromise. So I may be giving up a little bit of something that I thought, something I had an expectation that I wanted to see come to fruition. Same thing for her. But the ultimate goal is that we both love our kids. We both want to see them thrive and see God use them. And so in order for us to do that, we had to realize, okay, we have to kind of take a step back from self and then see what the other person's saying, so that way we can come to a common ground that's better for our child.
Yeah, especially like, parenting. I'm sure all the other parents like think this too, but you have to like kind of be on the same page. So, because otherwise your kids get confused. They need structure of some type. So, yeah, so fighting fair. Compromising. Taking a break when you need to. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then what was our other rule? Oh, rule about not...
Yeah, we have a rule about profanity.
We're just name calling. We don't name calling.
I say name calling. Really, the idea is to not bash the other person.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, call my wife anything other than her name. That's really how it works. I don't call her anything other than her name. I call her love.
Call me love. Yeah,
I call her love. But like, I'm not gonna call her, stupid or ugly. I'm not gonna call her anything other than her name. That to me, that's disrespecting my wife. And if I'm disrespecting my wife, I'm disrespecting myself as well. And I'm showing disrespect to the kids. And then I'm setting a bad example, because now they're seeing an example of their father disrespecting their mother. And then they get that example in their head that, okay, that's okay.
And they can do it to me or other people.
No, you're not allowed to disrespect mommy. And daddy's going to do his best to show you that I'm going to be respectful to mommy as well. And that's how we try to address it.
Another thing, apologizing.
Yes.
Sucking it up and apologizing. No one likes to... No one likes... And we would talk about this, like, for him, for apologies. You're apologizing, like, for me, I want my husband to apologize for hurting my feelings and not like, it's okay if he doesn't agree with that, or, you know, something like, or if I'm not feeling heard, not like, it doesn't mean that what he said isn't true for him. Like, he could believe a different thing in an argument, but, and also just, you know, admitting when you're wrong, which I hate doing. I don't like to admit that I'm wrong, but I do it.
Yes, she does.
But I don't like to.
So in apologizing, I'm not saying that I won a fight or that my wife has won an argument. That's not what I'm apologizing for. I'm apologizing because in the heat of our argument, our disagreement, or whatever it is, in the heat of our conflict, I made a mistake. I made a mistake, and I'm human, and I'm prone to make mistakes. So when I realize I've made a mistake, that's what I'm going back and apologizing for. So I could tell
I'm not
her,
feeling loved, and then I'm going back and maybe I'm responding to you, and then you're feeling disrespected, and that's kind of like the cycle.
And it's a cycle. And so one of the things we try to practice is, if I realize in the heat of an argument, I say something and I say it harsh, like I just flat out blunt. I don't take into account how she's going to receive it. I just say it, and I'm unfortunately do that a lot, and I'm trying not to be good at it. I'm trying to be better at, thinking about feelings. And that's what happens when I say it. I'm not thinking about feelings and how she's going to receive it.
He's very logical.
I just, exactly. And that's effective for my wife because she feels things. She's a human being. She feels things. And so I have to take that into account when I receive. So I can be honest and truthful with her, but I need to take into account how she feels things. Say things in love is the way I would probably term that. Saying it lovingly to her. And so because I've done that and I've now, hurt her feelings, I now have, for me, I now have that moral obligation, if you will, to go apologize. Yeah. Well, that really covered a lot of the stuff that we were going to talk about. Fair. Yeah, for the fighting fair, because the big thing was that kind of all encompassed the cursing at each other, the calling each other names, the flipping each other off, all those gestures and things that you say that and hey, this includes social media and stuff like that. People, if you're upset and you need to vent, use a journal. Because you can rip that up, you can burn that, you can shred it, you can destroy that. If you put it on the internet, it's out there, and I mean, you're showing that to the rest of the world. This, the way technology is now, the whole world's going to see it. That's
the difference of, I think, having a disagreement or argument. I think last week I was talking about if you wouldn't, maybe some people would say that to people's face though.
Maybe they will.
If they're your friend or someone which I guess you could be friends with whoever on Facebook, but if you're, or social media, but if you're friends with that person, if they're sitting there, I think that you wouldn't be so quick to say those things, maybe.
We like to think about that you take it into account.
You really think about it.
If it's a relationship you value, the assumption is, hey, you would take that into account, and that's what we're talking about.
And also, you can't see facial expressions and intent in words online. So
or tone, all those nonverbal cues that we were talking about last week.
Well, thanks for tuning in, and I guess we'll do this again another time.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Hey, by the way, if this has helped you in any way, or our previous video, please click the like button below, the share. We're going to make it public, so you can go ahead and share this. It's okay. We want this to be, beneficial to anybody that needs it.
Yeah.
If you find it entertaining, great. I'm not going to tell you not to like it or share it.
What's the one thing that you say? You either can learn from your mistakes.
Oh, you can learn from your mistakes. You can learn from other people's. Those are two ways you can learn.
It's less painful when you learn from someone else.
Exactly. Less painful to learn from someone else's mistakes. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Bye.